Hello, this is Grams and Alex filling in for Bill once again. Happy Wednesday to all. And we want to thank our viewers for the Ottawa News Network, our affiliate viewers. We thank them for their support. And the picture is once again of Holland, this time of the Holland State Park at the beach, looking like a nice day, fairly packed. And Bill right now is in Jasper National Park as part of his Canadian tour over in Alberta. It is the largest park in the Canadian Rockies. It's been a federal park since 1907, 35 years after Yellowstone was established. And here's that photo again of the mountain from yesterday, which, again, looking cool. Bill over by some river rapids, and he's having a good time with that. And here's him decked out in that U of Wisconsin gear over by some castle. And here are headlines. The hot weather continues with a heat advisory in southwestern Michigan for Tuesday with a heat index of up to 102 degrees. Fairly hot for Michigan standards, and there's a slight possibility of severe weather on Thursday. And as you can see there, there's Berrien and Cass counties specifically under a heat advisory. And for today's forecast, we have a high of 91 and a low of 75, with it being clear for much of the day, going from the sunny in the day to mostly clear at night, with 47% humidity and some fairly notable gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Getting up there by Michigan standards, but still could be worse. For the 5-day forecast, we have Thursday, the high of 93 and a low of 70. Mostly clear, but a slight chance of weather later in the day. On Friday, it will be rainy with a high of 86 and a low of 67. On Saturday, it'll revert to being partly sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 67. And on Sunday, it'll be back to being clear with a high of 90 and a low of 68. And now a word for sponsors, starting with Complete Care Concierge.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And thanks again to our sponsors. Here's the high temperatures for the day across Michigan. 84 in the western UP, 82 in Sault Ste. Marie, 90 Traverse City, 87 Mackinac, 86 Holland, 86 in Muskegon, 91 Grand Rapids, and 88 in Detroit. Again, as we've seen, the inland in southern Michigan are getting the worst of it. And here's the 8 to 14-day temperatures. Once again, much of the continental U.S. above average, with northern Michigan actually near normal, and Grand Rapids, and to the south will be slightly above. New England's still below average, which is interesting. And for the precipitation, near normal through much of Michigan. Detroit and the surrounding area will be a bit below. The western P will be a bit above. But otherwise, not too far either way. And on this day, 1958, the Dutch village opened. The Niels family came to the U.S. after World War I looking for farmland. Now, they first went to Missouri and then ended up with the Dutch in Holland. And those Dutch and their tulips, but their tulip farm became popular by the 1930s, and through that, they had a gift shop and a windmill to it. And for more, they became importing Dutch goods for wholesale. There are now 30 structures in the Dutch village, architectures from various parts of the Netherlands. There are costumed Klompen dancers in a carousel there. And 4 generations have been operating it. Very interesting. And all began on this day in 1958. And 4 years later, in 1962, the Liberty Theater was demolished in Grand Rapids. It was originally opened in 1916 and seated 614. It was the second longest projection in town. It was closed in the 1950s, where the building was repurposed into a church. And then, unfortunately, fire destroyed much of the building in 1961, which led to it being demolished in 1962. And was located on 1028 South Division, and is now what appears to be an automobile sales lot as the current day. And on this day 11 years ago, the Helen J. Clater statue was dedicated in Grand Rapids. Currently stands at the GRCC Student Plaza, Kendall College, and St. Mark's Episcopal if you want to go take a look at it. It was part of the Grand Rapids Community Legends Project, as ran by the Sitchia family. Helen J. Clater was the first African-American president of the Grand Rapids YWCA, National YWCA, as the Young Women's Christian Association, contrasted with the YMCA, the Young Men's Christian Association. She spoke at a YWCA meeting in Grand Rapids where she met her future spouse and later moved to Grand Rapids, and has been on the YWCA Board of Directors for 27 years. Wow. Pretty important. And again, you can go see the statue. And on this day, 126 years ago, William A. Burt received a patent for the typewriter. No, the typographer. The typographer was the precursor to the typewriter. It used levers to press characters onto paper. It was not a commercial success at that point, maybe because it was slow or wasn't much of a market for it yet, but there would eventually be, and the typewriter was able to capitalize on that, and the rest is history. And on this day in 1967 was the first successful human liver transplant, and it was also the first transplant recipient to live more than 1 year. It was an 18-month-old toddler who lived for over 13 months with it, and unfortunately cancer reemerged in the infant, and the infant passed. And it's conducted at the University of Colorado in Denver, and today about 8,000 liver transplants to USC each year. Pretty important thing that saved lives. And on July 23rd is National Gorgeous Grandma Day, and as Michelle wrote, shout out to all the grandmas in the Glam Squad. And to the right is Louise, Bill's mother. And here's a photo of the summer at Mount Bohemia. You can still go up on the lifts as it looks, which is interesting. And it was almost cropped out on the mini map there, but there it is in the upper UP. And some more nature photography from John Doherty, the yucca with a moth and beetle around it, looking pretty cool. And here's some clouds from John Scully. And with the sun shining through it, looks like a good shot. We thank John Doherty and John Scully for all their contributions. And that's the show for today. Subscribe if you like the content. It's free and it helps us. And I appreciate you all for sticking around. And Bill being on his Canadian tour, is doing great. And thanks again. Stay cool and have a good day.